Hi, I'm Edward Chang. I'm a certified massage therapist in the state of California, and I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit about aromatherapy. And I know a lot of clients have asked me, you don't do the normal thing where you combine them in a textbook format where you go buy a textbook, not a textbook, but like a little manual and it has aromatherapy recipes, and you don't follow it. I'm like, yeah, I don't. And you're like, but it's more useful and it's better, and I feel better than the standard stuff that you get like at doTERRA or whatever. I heard doTERRA so much all the time, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. And like, what are you doing? And where are you getting it from? And what did you learn to be able to know how to do this? So very simple. It's called traditional Chinese medicine. And what we do in traditional Chinese medicine is we use various amounts of theories to go ahead and help the client. And one of the biggest theories that I like to use is not just yin yang theory and tongue diagnosis and pulse diagnosis and all that, and the blood qi and moisture. But one of the biggest things I like to use, and I'm going to go ahead and draw this out for you to go ahead and give you an idea, is this thing called the five elemental theory, the five elements theory. And that's wrong. And I'm gonna try to draw these characters correctly. Forgive me if you're Chinese and you're like, that's the wrong character. I'm sorry. I'm not, you know, Chinese. I mean, I am Chinese. I'm Taiwanese, technically Chinese, but whatever. I know politically incorrect. Blah 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 blah. I understand. Sorry. I love my heritage, but not that much. I can't. I don't do war. I don't fight with each other. Okay. The five elemental theory. That's what I use. So here's your wood. Here's your fire. Here's your earth. Here's your metal, and here's your water. And this is basically what I use. Now each of these elements are associated with certain things. For example, wood here is mostly associated with a very commanding person. Fire here is mostly associated with something that's very loving and very passionate about their work. Earthen person is more joyous and happy. Metal person is more smart and very book learned and very much into lots of knowledge. And a water person is very philosophical and very kind of spacey kind of person. They like to think a lot, very philosophically. And those are the basic elements that I'm using all the time. I'm using this whooshing theory, and basically each of these elements have a relationship to each other, and that's basically what I'm using. So for example, wood goes ahead and produces fire because it feeds fire. Fire goes ahead and when it burns the wood, it turns into ash or earth. Earth eventually gets purified, it turns into metal. Metal goes ahead and transcends itself and becomes water, basically the purest of all, very, very heavenly, and then it goes back into the earth. And that's basically the cycle. And this is what I use. And the reason why I use this is because sometimes someone comes in and they have a personality type, and I know that the aroma is not going to work for them. I mean, it works for most people, but it's not going to work specifically for them. For example, if you come in pregnant, the most common thing I'm going to do for nausea would probably be eucalyptus, sweet orange, and maybe some peppermint. And I might mix that up in the combinations, or I might substitute the eucalyptus for something else, or I might just use peppermint or lavender. I don't know. Depends. But, most of the time the eucalyptus is going to be used. But sometimes someone comes in and they're pregnant. And I'm like, oh, you're pregnant. So let me figure out something else, because that eucalyptus is probably going to make you more nauseous. And so I had to figure something else out because they're pregnant all of a sudden. And that changes everything. The same thing with lavender. Lavender is commonly like, oh, everyone relaxes with lavender. Guess what? Metal people do not relax with lavender. I've noticed this quite a lot. Someone that's very book smart and in their head, well, I give them lavender, they can't take it. They don't like it at all. It doesn't make them relax. Because lavender, it doesn't work out for people with metal. And because that each and every single aroma is also associated with one of these elements. And I have to balance this entire circle out. And that's what I'm using. I'm using traditional Chinese medicine. I'm using a lot of principles and ideas from traditional Chinese medicine to go ahead and help you. Now, that is basically where I'm getting it from, and that's basically why my combinations are different, because I'm not doing it for everyone. I'm doing it for each individual person. So it does take a little bit more time to go ahead and figure out what I need to use for each individual person, because I don't know who comes in the door. And so that's basically where I'm learning it from. Now, to give you an idea of how much traditional Chinese medicine information you need to learn, this is the book. This is the book for acupuncturists. They use this all the time. It's the Handbook of Oriental Medicine. If you're an acupuncturist and you're looking for a good book, and you don't already use this, this is a very good one, at least here in the West. Super good. I mean, look at this. This is amazing. It's amazing material. And it also goes over a little bit of basics for you as well. Where are you? Yeah, that's the basics. That is practically the basics. So it goes a little bit over the fundamentals for you as well. Great book. But that's basically what I'm using. And it's a lot. It's a vast vat of information. So when you're asking, oh, how did you do this? Can I learn this? It's not easy to learn. There's a lot of information to learn. If you do want to get kind of the basics behind what I'm using, a good book is Between Heaven and Earth, A Guide to Chinese Medicine. I just looked this up on Amazon. Actually, that's the book I started with. Another book that might be good is The Web That Has No Weaver, Understanding Chinese Medicine. That's another good book. They're about $13-15. It goes over the basics, and by the way, the second one, the latter one, The Web That Has No Weaver, that's a little bit more intensive. It's going to go into a lot more intensive detail, so that's not recommended for you starting off. Most of the time, but if you want to really dig into it, that's okay. So those are two books I would go for. And that'll give you the basic idea of traditional Chinese medicine. That's basically what I'm using. And sometimes when you find that, oh, I'm pushing on a point and you're feeling it somewhere else, and I'm pushing somewhere else, and I push like 2 points at once, and I'm asking you, does it hurt more? Does it hurt less? I'm actually using traditional Chinese medicine a little bit on top of Western medicine to kind of figure out what muscles need to be worked on. So that's kind of where I'm getting it from. And that's a lot of information, though. And I'm not the one to go over that. That's the acupuncturist, and they should be going over that for you. So don't ask me to do that. That's not my job. The acupuncturist will go over it for you, or a Tai Chi master. I'm not a Tai Chi master. I do practice Tai Chi, but that's not my job. So please go ask your acupuncturist. Acupuncturists can be helpful, so don't be afraid to try them. So hopefully you learned a little bit about me and what I do, and I'm hoping to see you next time.